Okay, so May 19, we got another correction, follow-up. Basically, we have been just doing this follow-up of the correction. At the moment, as we see, we just bounced from this wick here, from this area. I just draw this line blue one, and we are trying to hold the 200 simple on the daily, and we are below the 200 exponential. So we don't know, we need to wait until the daily close to see if we close above the 200 or above the 200 and the 200 exponential. And this week, if you want to buy, then you can use this week that we are now as your stop loss. Remember that all these areas above now, all this moving average will be resistance, especially on this area here, not on this one as well, but maybe we can have like a big short squeeze here, put everyone bullish, come here and then back down. We don't know what will happen, nobody knows. But remember, we have now a big resistance on this area, basically here, here, and of course the monthly close. Okay, so all that said, RSI on the daily, we are already oversold, but if we look at the history, we can go until the 10 on the oversold here. For instance, here 11, around 10, 11. So we can still go down quite easily. And although we have the 277 here, as well as support, we have the Fibonacci here, the golden ratio, which I see it's an area that we can still have a week here. So let's see these days what we are doing. Many people are buying now, some in dollar cost average or buying a little bit and do dollar cost average on the way down, or some are just buying now, hoping that we close above here and they put a stop loss below here. If this goes down, they will maybe try to buy again. Anyway, but anyway, this is an area of value and many people might be buying now. Okay, so we need to wait 15 hours until the daily close, but it's possible that this area holds for a few times. Maybe one day more people will buy, we go up and then back down. We don't know. So it depends on the execution. If you want to buy here, it's your risk and you put your stop loss, very easy to manage as well. So it's on fear that you buy, but this is the daily chart that we are trying to hold the 200s. All of them are here. We might still come a little bit down. The stock market is red. It's critical. NASDAQ, QQQ, all red. And if the stock market keeps coming down, which already started slowly, Bitcoin can keep on coming down. So now, most important, what I'm seeing at the moment, we are May 19. I'm putting actually not the weekly, I'll come to the weekly later. I'll put the monthly. And this for me, it's the most important actually, is giving all the trades with these trend lines, everything spot on. And we have still this one here that needs to be touched sometime in the future, plus this one, but this is maybe in 2 years, 1 year. Depends on the stock market. Remember, as an investor, this is where you buy on this line here on the monthly chart. When the price reaches these low levels, this is where you start buying as an investor. On the tops, this is where you take profits and start selling. Okay, all that said, we got a rejection perfectly here from the trend line. On the daily, we rejected this trend line on the daily, but on the monthly, remember we have the golden pocket here. We have the 12 exponential here, which is quite important, this level on the monthly. Even if we go up, maybe we touch this trend line on the monthly and then after we come down, we don't know, nobody knows. But these are areas of value, so it's the 33,300K, 12 EMA. We have the 21 exponential here on the 25K, around 25K, and the 20 simple here on the 20K, on these areas. Of course, we still have these areas, but I'm saying just we need a bounce we will bounce for sure in one of these areas sooner or later. And let's see which one we will bounce. I don't think we will have a red candle straight down here because there's too many participants in the market, and we might have a week, like a big week like this one, but if that happens, we'll be on these 3 moving averages. So depending on your style of investment or trading or swing trading, you can have bids on these 3 ones with a stop loss just below if we keep on coming down, or you can have bids until here, and you just use it as an investor waiting for a bounce from any of these areas or from this area. So many ways of doing this. So we are quite red at the moment. Still 11 days to go. If we manage to close above this trend line, we can still push higher. Remember, this will be resistance at the moment. Like this was resistance. Now we have this one as resistance. Maybe we come down here, we go up. If you come down here in these next days, up and then down, or if we start closing above here, we can push higher. So all options are valid. Let's see what we do. For now, we are having the first red. We had the first red candle on the monthly. After all this huge move higher, that created big FOMO. We have all the news reporting this, and as soon as we got the red one, we are doing the monthly consolidation to see if we manage to push higher once again. So let's see where we stop. This is quite important, the monthly. It's 11, 12 days to go, more or less. So let's see how we close the monthly. If we close above the 12, we can have a push higher, and then we come here, and then let's see if we have enough strength to push higher. Remember, this yellow line here, this will be a big resistance on the 56K, around 56, plus this trend line on the around 48K, 46, 48 in the future. So everything is possible. So now we are going to the weekly. So as we see, we are below that trend line. On the daily we rejected. Here we just came down. We still, in the weekly we didn't come up on the next week basically to see if this will be. Remember, we have the 12 exponential now as resistance. We have the 21 as resistance. Or if during this week we come down, we don't know if we hold here or we come down a little bit more. Even here, who knows? There's many exponentials, but I don't think so. We should hold this one or maybe around this one. I don't know if we have like a huge red one, a week here and then up. But the goal, the bulls need to prove strength, if they have strength, to try to push the price basically above the 21. So this one kind of close above, but at the same time it's really kind of tricky. I don't know if this is considered above, it's really on the limit. So this candle, which is the weekly, might be a week, and we might start to get green or go up by when we close Sunday to Monday. So basically in 4 days, which says here, around 4 days, if this starts to go up and then we close at least above this previous candle. If we close below, we can keep on coming down. Remember, we have the 20, on the weekly we have the 20 simple moving average here, on 48 as resistance, and the 12 coming down also as resistance. So let's see what we do. Basically we need to start closing above these 2 candles here, which will be the big resistance. It's aligned also with the moving averages. So we are stuck here. We have all these moving averages also waiting. Indicators are pointing down on the weekly. Of course, on the daily, we are almost touching the levels of oversold, so we can have a bounce. So let's see what we are doing. It will depend also on the stock market, which can have a big correction. And after all these big moves, we never know where we bounce, or when we bounce, until when the market normally goes higher than everyone expects and go lower than everyone expects. But if you use these moving averages, As you see, the 200s here always hold the price when Bitcoin corrects. Since the early stages, since here, as we see, the 200 simple and exponential always hold the line. And for now, the base, it's on the 12K, 12 to 15K on the weekly. But I think the monthly will dictate the rules. And remember, the RSI is quite important for investors, and it's a patience game. So remember, as you see, the price hold it here. We never touched these ones because we went up too fast. And now this will be the first line of support on the monthly. Even if we close the month even above, maybe the next candle we can come here and then maybe try to push higher, or then this will be resistance and do another lower high and we come lower. It will depend a lot on S&P, Nasdaq, QQQ, and we have all these lines here. This is where you buy. You just and wait for the candles to close on top of one of them on the monthly basis. So it's 1 month waiting, and we are on the May 19. It's a patience game. RSI pointing down. We can come up one more time like this, or we might do something completely different and just don't do it. So let's see. There's many people, many participants on the market. The market is bigger now. So let's see. So I see it here in the 33 as first, on the monthly as first support. Then this one and this one. And of course, if we close below any of these on the monthly basis, we have all these areas. And the 100 is here on the 6K. But this can take years. Basically, it's this support here. So I'm not considering these at the moment, just especially this first area for a bounce, and then reassess if we manage to push higher, or we do another lower high, or a blow off top, and then push back down. And then if we come back down, maybe here, or around here, or here. And yeah, so this is the patience game. For me, this is the most important trend line. This one was tested, as I always said on previous, since a long time ago. We got the bounce here, the big buy was here on the moving average plus this trend line, and now we created this one that was not tested as support. It's coming down, so sometime in the future, I think we will have a big bounce from this one. But for now, we are still quite up, so still many buying opportunities and bounces. And yeah, so that's it. Many money to be made on this volatility. So for now we are holding, trying to hold the 200, but many people are buying. And we need to wait until the day close, because if we get many people buying and put stop losses here or here, before the daily close we can have a week here, take everyone out, and then maybe it goes higher after, or just prior daily close. So this is a tricky place, so that's why it's not going up too fast, because it's liquidating high leverage. And so it's a patience game. So on the daily, I see this area as support, all this area. Let's see what we do. Big resistance, big resistance, big resistance. After here, if we start getting candles closing above this area, I start seeing a bit more strength to try to close above this one and then close above this trend line. Of course, if we manage to see some candles closing above this trend line, which will be around already maybe 66K, we can push higher. So you can do the breakout trade from here, or here with the stop loss on the swing low below, or now try to see where we stop and take the risk and put your stop loss. Everything with stop losses, just leave a bit of room so you're not caught. And you can have bids maybe until here. You can use a stop loss below 33K or 31. Leave bids on this area, try to get filled. Have a bounce until here or until here. Take profits, leave a moonshot if you start closing above this area. Maybe you can add to the position if we start doing bullish patterns on the way up. So many styles from investment. I don't consider this, but I can consider swing trade and trade on these areas. Okay, so Bitcoin now 40K, trying to hold the 200 simple, still not bounce. If it closes above the 200 exponential, maybe you can buy and put a stop loss here, but remember, this will act as resistance, all these moving averages. This area was not tested as support, as resistance. So this is the big, where the bulls will strike again, will be around this area. And they will try to defend now this cluster here and this cluster. And basically they will try to defend now the 21, the 20, all these moving average will act as resistance. This cluster here, so, and this cluster here, this will act. 45.142 will be a big resistance as well because of these two candles on the weekly scale. Okay, indicator still pointing down on the weekly, so it's a patience game, don't rush. Remember, we have all these areas that we never know where Bitcoin can go. QQQ, the tech sector on the stock market indicates, let's see where we are. Everything is going red, so also we are trying to hold the 21 moving average. On the weekly, let's see if it holds. If we don't hold, we have all these areas here. Remember, we were bouncing. As if we close below and we don't close above again to try to push higher. Remember, we have all these areas for a correction. Remember, if you invest in any asset, on the weekly it's here on these areas. When we touch on the RSI down, on the top is where you take profits, basically. As simple as that. Everything is the same charts. Nasdaq also quite important, and the S&P. So we have been in this big bubble, so I think we need a big correction, but let's see where we go. So we just keep on going up on the lines, on the 21 and the 20. Still quite up, trying to push down. We need to hold the 12 here and the 21, and let's see if we manage to keep the bull run, or if we do a lower high here and we go back down. So let's see what we do. We have all these trend lines now. Yeah, this area needs to hold, especially on the S&P, this area, on the Nasdaq, this area. Let's see if we do it. We are quite overbought here, so we are pointing down. So we rejected from that trend line. Here also we have this trend line, got a rejection. Let's see if we follow up and keep on coming down. We have this support here on the 21 plus this moving up, and it closes below. From this area we can have a big correction straight down here, and everything is possible. Something like this, we can have another one straight down to this area, and then maybe up, and then maybe even down. We never know. These markets have been nuts, so we never know if we have like a huge correction. Okay, that's it. I don't think. Yeah, let's see the dollar. Because if the stock market, the dollar is still weak, but we are on this support line. So let's see. This is the monthly, quite red. We need to hold this area, otherwise we might come here to this area. And if we keep on coming down on the dollar, we have this one here, plus all these supports around here. But let's see if this holds. Not looking good. The dollar. See, we are almost touching this trend line. I think we might have a bounce. We still didn't touch it. And then let's see if we manage to start closing above this one and then closing above that one. We can range here for a while to see if this works as support. Closes below here, we will come down. So let's see what the dollar does. And what else? Bitcoin dominance, of course, finally we are getting the bounce because of the crash. Finally, the first green, because everyone is leaving the house to go into Bitcoin, so Bitcoin dominance starts to go higher. Didn't touch the line ahead here, we just touched the candle close, which is valid as well. I had this line made on the week, so it's basically an area, so it's bouncing from here. And everyone has been on halt, that's why the Bitcoin dominance was low, and now let's see until where we bounce. Yeah, okay, everything red as we can see. Not doing any other ones, just Bitcoin, it's enough. For now, the alts I already did it on the previous ones, so just see where they bounce, where the weekly stops, the daily stops, if they stop on the moving averages. Just use your stop loss and see where we bounce. Remember the monthly and the weekly are quite important. So this is the channel on Ethereum. We are going to the base again. Basically we touch mathematically this one. I was hoping to see if I got a week there, I didn't. Let's see if this holds, but if we come here, this might act as resistance, we might come down. So hopefully we might even touch here, but we need to close above all this area here. This channel that we've been inside. But the moving averages are here. If we close above here, you can just use your stop loss and start taking profits on the way up, because we don't know if we come here and come back down. As an investor, I'm seeing from actually below the 500, 300, from this area. Even here, if we have a big crash, so still making a higher low from this area. But this might be just sometime in the future, so not in the next times, I think. So just use the moving averages and yeah, just be patient and see where they close. Okay, that's it. Play safe, use your stop loss and risk management and take profits.